Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here, and today we're going to be trying something a little different, as in we're trying a different game today, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. More specifically, well, how to play as a giant blob on Star Wars Battlefront 2, as well as a bonus total invisibility glitch. So before we get started, just a fair warning, a lot of this video is going to be very blurry and distorted, and that is because, for a couple of reasons which I'll get to in a second. But right now, you can already see the glitch happening. Several players are those like big blobs of like distorted like textures and stuff like that. Just graphical mess, essentially. And once you see this happen, that's, well, obviously you know that your game is glitched, and you're free to basically control this glitch. Now, the reason why my video is very distorted right now is because the beta itself, and this is the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, it was very glitchy for me. As in, it froze a lot. Well, like, it didn't completely freeze, but it just like stuttered every now and then, or it did freeze for like a couple of seconds. And that caused the game DVR to also freeze and distort. So, yeah. Anyway, so once you see this happening, the way to like play as the blob is you want to play as a specialist class, as you saw I just selected there, because only the specialist class becomes like that, basically the sniper class. So in first person you can see the shadow of your blob all over the ground, and of course if you switch to third person you can see yourself playing as the blob, or the graphical mess, but I'm just going to call it blob to keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, if you play as third person the blob, it makes it really hard to see anything. But every other player that's playing as a specialist class, they will also be this giant blob, essentially. And I'm not sure like what causes this. It seems like it's kind of random. It just randomly happens. But obviously you'll know when it happens, because I know a lot of people do play as a specialist class. So when you see like giant blobs walking around, that's how you know. The other side effect of this glitch is if you play as anything besides the specialist class, you will be totally invisible. Now, you can still see the shadow of your gun when you look down at the ground, but your body itself will have no shadow. And other players will be totally invisible. Now, like I said, I do apologize for this. Well, A, the lag is from the beta, and B, the distortion is a side effect of that as well. But anyway, so as you can see, other players like Obtaining Chaos here are totally invisible. No shadow of their gun. Totally invisible. Only their name tag shows up on their head. But that's it. And this is not just a glitch that affects you as well. It affects everyone in the game, because not only could I see it, but Obtaining Chaos could also see it as well. Now, for invisible characters, like I said, they're totally invisible, but when they fire the weapon, as you can see here, you can still see like the projectiles shooting out. So that's basically the only way you could kind of see them, especially if they're an enemy, which would make them a lot harder to see. But you know, because of this glitch, this game, like this specific match, was like pretty much totally unplayable. But you know, it's still pretty cool. It's just we were thinking about like just leaving the game, because you know we could barely play it. But nonetheless, I wanted to record it. And here's Obtaining Chaos again, playing as the giant blob. I'll show him in more detail again in a second. Get an up-close look. As for like this distortion, it's partially, there's two reasons like why it's distorting. A, it's because I'm on the latest insider preview dashboard, so like the game DVR, as you saw in some of my previous Halo videos, it does distort occasionally. But in this case, the distortion is even worse now because the new Insider Preview dashboard, it's been pretty slow for me, and it slows down a lot. And with Battlefront 2, it slows down a lot more. And every time it slows down, that's what causes the distortion. And thus the beta has been like pretty unplayable for me, because it's a combination of like the new dashboard update being like bad in general, and the beta itself being buggy has made it pretty unplayable. But anyways, let's get an up-close look here, just because like the previous scenes were also pretty distorted. But as you can see here, the blob, it's just like freaking out the entire time, and you can still see their weapons shoot and everything. Just looks kind of funny, like the way the weapon moves around. But yeah, so that's basically the specialist class, aka the giant blob. Um, as for the invisibility, like I said, to everybody else, you're also invisible. And to you, you'll see your weapon in first person, of course. And I think you still see. I think in third person you still see a floating weapon. I forgot to test it out, but I'm pretty sure in third person you see a floating weapon. But to other people, from their perspective, you won't be a floating weapon, nor will you have a shadow, of course. But like I said, I'm not quite sure what causes this. I don't believe it's the dashboard, because while I do have like the newest Insider preview dashboard, which has been pretty buggy, Obtaining Chaos, who's also in the game with me, does not have that latest dashboard update. So I don't think that's what causes it. But you know, if this has happened to you as well, just let me know in the comments, and let me know if you have like the same experiences, or if you have any idea like how to reproduce this. Because right now I'm not quite positive how this can be reproduced. It's clearly like a graphical glitch, but I'm not sure like what causes it. It might just be random. And like I said, this is the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta. For those of you who might be watching this in the future, I would imagine this gets patched by then. But if not, it's still something cool and funny that comes up. But it does make the game a little unplayable. Then again, in the past with like Frostbite engine games like Battlefield, these kind of glitches are not that uncommon. There's been like quite a few funny glitches in those related to like the graphics or physics in all the Battlefield games. But just let me know this happened to you, and if you might know like how this is reproduced. But other than that, I'm not sure what causes it, and like I said, I don't believe it's the dashboard, because me and Obtaining Chaos have different dashboard versions. I'm the newest, and he's slightly newer compared to the retail dashboards. But so yeah, I hope you guys found this to be interesting, and I hope you do enjoy playing as a giant blob on Star Wars Battlefront 2 while the beta lasts. Or if this still happens on the final game, then, well, I hope you enjoy that too. But yeah, so it is actually somewhat useful because you can be invisible, but the giant blob, not as useful. But yeah, so if you guys did enjoy this, make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and comments. If there's anything else you want me to check out or test out in any game, Battlefront 2, Halo, whatever, just let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos coming up soon. And I will see you guys next time.